I am a very good professional wrestler, and this is my desperate attempt to stay relevant while I'm on the shelf. Folks at IWTV, we are here at my home. Maybe you've seen it before, and I've got my good buddy, IWTV Independent Champion Wheeler Yuta in the house today. First off, thanks for coming in the house. You were nice to the wife, said hi to the kids, signed autographs. Sawyer was pumped. Got to meet Wheeler Yuta, the champ, in his own house. He was super ecstatic about this. I got my list here. I got a bunch of questions we're going to ask Wheeler Yuta today, and I hope you folks at home, I hope you enjoy this whole shindig. And if it goes well enough, maybe I'll get to do this again. Here we go. Wheeler Yuta, first off, I was happy to have you as my first guest. Super pumped about this. You and I, we go way back. Way back, we met, I think, about a year into your wrestling career. Give me a little bit about that. Give me a little, this one I don't know, right? We're like acquaintances, but we're not buddies. We don't hang out outside of wrestling. Give me a little bit about that year before we met.
Yeah, so before we met, I was training in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, in this little school. It's called the AIWF Academy. So
I never heard of it.
Yep. Defunct now, closed unfortunately, but yeah, it gave me a great foundation of basics, and then moved up to Philadelphia, and that's where we met.
We met for the first time. Story's kind of similar. Same thing. I started, right here, close by, in Allentown, PXW, now defunct, right? They eventually brought Quack in. I was like, man, this guy's great wrestling trainer. I want to learn from this guy. I don't know if you had a similar situation, but you moved your whole life. I just took the hour-and-a-half drive to Philly, but maybe similar. I don't know. So there we are, Wrestle Factory. We meet. We're training, right? Butting head-to-head sometimes at training, not in a bad way, but in a competitive way. One thing I can see about you, right, out of the gate, man, like college educated like myself, right? I got a master's degree. What do you got?
Got a bachelor's.
Okay, that's not as good, but it's pretty close. But I can see, right, that just means to me you're a hardworking guy, right? And you take this serious, and you're willing to put the work in. You're willing to learn. Right away, I noticed you kind of stuck by, and rightfully so, because they're all super successful. The Gulak's in the room. The Orange Cassidy's in the room. The Chuck Taylor's in the room. What'd you learn from those guys? What'd you learn?
Hey, I got to learn a lot of different things from each of them. I think that Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy, they don't really get the credit for, the minds that they have in wrestling. How well they can put together different things, and how well they can focus a strategy and really make sure that as a team they work well together, and then as singles that they work well together. They're great. And then, of course, Drew Gulak gave me a lot. He, was really my foundation, taught me, all these different styles, really opened up my worldview, I guess I would say, as pro wrestling's concerned.
It was a smart move. Most people come in, they're kind of shy. They just kind of mope around, whatever. They set up the chairs. They do the thing. But you were smart, man. Like, those guys were like, hey, you want to come out and get a beer? You went out and got a beer. You want to come over and watch the Sixers? Go over and watch the Sixers, because that's what you got to do. You want to go for this 12-hour car ride? That's where you learn. And that's one of those things that you did right away where I'm like, this kid's going to be successful. Like, people got to keep an eye. Nowadays, right, like my prediction came true. Look at this, right? Not only this, we're running things at Beyond nowadays. We see you on AEW now. You're everywhere, kid. Your star power, to the moon.
Thanks, man.
To the moon. Hey, don't thank me. You did the work, bro. That's one thing I know. Everything I've got in wrestling, I owe to myself, because I'm the one who did the work, right? Yeah. If I listen to somebody's advice, like, I was smart enough to ask for the advice. Mm-hmm. So everything you got, like, you could be appreciative to some people, but, dude, you did it. Like, be proud of yourself, man. Like, this, you earned that. Ain't nobody can take that from you. All right, so here's one thing I noticed. So let's fast forward like a little more than a year ago, right? Okay. COVID happens, and this is where I feel like me and you, we're on the same playing field, where COVID happened, and maybe some people use it as an excuse, right? Like, oh, I can't go to training, can't do this, but not me, man. I took that as like motivation almost, or a challenge. Like, nah, when this is over, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. And I still remember, maybe about a year ago, I rolled into Cheeseburgers. We're down there, we go training with Cheeseburger, and there's Wheeler Yuta in this ring, right? And this dude looked like $1 million. He's flying around the ring, he's rolling around the ring. But the one thing you did, and we never had this conversation before, that impressed me the most was, and you maybe never been at wrestling training, but a lot of times we're running a drill in the ring, people standing on the sideline right there on the apron, right? Like, this dude, once he got out done doing the drill, instead of going to get in line, he went and got on a spin bike, right? Blew my mind. I'm like, that's a great idea. Like, instead of standing there, he's over there spinning, using every second of that time in that training facility to his advantage. And I already knew you're like, this guy's going to be good. But when I seen that, I'm like, that's the extra work, right? That's what sets you from the rest. That's what some people don't even think about doing, let alone aren't willing to do. And here's this kid out there doing it. And from that year till now, the amount of success you had, like, I mean, I want to say it blows my mind, but it doesn't. Like, all the math adds up. Like, this dude's doing what other people won't do. Therefore, he's going to have the success that other people aren't going to have. Yeah. But then, you know, I come home, I look at myself, and I'm like, wait, I'm doing all that stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm not, like, the independent wrestling TV champion. They're not, AEW's not calling me, right? But I don't, never mind. I'm getting a little sidetracked right now. All right. Then next thing I saw. Greatest Rivals Round Robin Tournament. I'm standing right there along the ring. I didn't get invited to be in it, but I was right there for the whole thing. I watched every single match you had, kid. Phenomenal. What can you tell me about the Greatest Rivals Round Robin Tournament?
Yeah, you know, you were talking about COVID and all that time where I had to put in all that work, and you know, it seemed pretty thankless. I'm sure you can say the same thing. You know, it seemed pretty thankless at times. You know, you didn't really get the rewards you wanted out of it, and that's kind of what it felt like for me. You know, for COVID. So once the pandemic ended and we started having matches again, I really looked at that Greatest Rivals Round Robin as this is my chance. You know, this is my chance to show all that work I put in, all that effort, all that time, where it was just me, where no one was around, and I was just trying to do the best I could. And to me, that was like my coming out moment. That was like my big chance to do everything I wanted to do on the independents and, you know, show what I got.
Dude, and you said that was your goal, like show the world, and I stood right there, and I don't want to knock anybody at home, but I feel like my opinion matters just a little bit more. And dude, you won me over that day. Like, I already had all the respect in the world for you. Like I said, I seen you at training, and that's where I got to see you put it to use. Now, you didn't win. You weren't the winner, right? Like, I mean, I kind of felt like maybe if I was in there, maybe I'd have won. But that's a different story for another day. But I stood right there, and I watched the improvement from, like, the first day I saw you until that day, and it was night and day. And I could just see, you know, that uphill climb, right? And I've seen it with other people. In 16 years of wrestling now, I've seen people chip away and make those leaps, and they're all making, you know, the big bucks wrestling on Mondays or Wednesdays or Fridays. They're doing all those things, man. And I saw that for you, and that was awesome. I was really proud of you. So now let's talk about what we got going on, right? Besides this, we'll get to this in a minute. Beyond wrestling now, right? Yeah. We got a stable. That's like a big thing. I used to have a stable. I used to have my own little crew back in the day too. But you got your own stable. Let me see, who's in this stable with you?
So it's myself, Richard Holiday, Logan Easton LaRoe, and Alexander James.
So a little bit I know about these three people. Or a lot of bit I know about them. They're all kind of like kind of selfish dudes. Like a little bit. So like this is why it befuddles me a little bit, because I'm like, I don't know these guys as team players, but yet here they are on the same team, but I know they each have their own individual kind of like agenda. And this is my honest opinion, what I feel is like going on here, and you do with it what you will. I'm just looking out for you, kid. Like I said, we go way back. But I think they're latching on to your star, man. Like, they see it. They're not blind. I'm not blind, right? We see it. The star power is through the roof. And now you got these hangers on, man. Hangers on weigh you down. So that, my opinion, do with that what you will. I just want to throw it out there. And then I check in my Twitter the other day. We see you doing a dark, right? We got to love these AEW darks, because they're not darks. They're giving people chances to shine, right? You went in there, not only did you shine, but you picked up a big W over Ryan Nemeth. What'd that mean to you?
You know, it meant the world. It was, you know, like we talk about the Greatest Rivals Round Robin and how that was my chance to really show what I had. And like you mentioned, I came up a little short, a little bit. So it was nice to, you know, kind of have that redemption, have that big win, that big moment. It was similar, you know, to when I won this, you know, being able to have that kind of watermark moment of this is the time. I did it. I finally accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. And that was one of those moments.
So that makes you feel like all that work, right? That extra time on the spin bike, and I know you're doing work outside of that, but just those little things you did, right? Little things other people aren't doing. That's where for you, all of a sudden, that all feels like, you know what? That was worth it. Like, I did it, man. I did it. Anybody who ever told me this wrestling dream's nonsense, this is foolishness, like, and I know there's bigger things coming for you, but even just that win, is enough to throw in everybody's face. Anybody who ever doubted you, you know the feeling, right? Yeah. People, right? I don't know. Mom look at you a little funny the first time. You're like, Mom, I know I'm in college, but I'm going to go be a pro wrestler, right? Like, Mom, I'm probably the same look. Now you say, Mom, look what I did. Look what I did, right? For one of the biggest companies in the world. Like, this is what I accomplished. Nobody can never take that from you, man. Hang on to that. That's a big deal. All right. Now let's talk about this thing right here. All right. IWTV, Independent Wrestling Championship. 52 minutes, Lee Moriarty.
15 seconds.
Oh.
52-15.
52 minutes, 15 seconds. Lee Moriarty, who, I'm not going to lie, when that match was announced, I was like, yo, Wheeler's going to go in there. He's going to show his stuff. But I thought you was going to come up short. I'm not going to lie. You had the whole world claiming Lee Moriarty's the best wrestler in the independents in North America, blah, 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 blah. He just won the belt, right? Like a month before, 2 months before. Recent. I didn't see him dropping it that quick. What do you think helped you edge him out that day?
I think it's all that hard work. I think it's all those things you said. You know, I knew this was one of my goals. This has been a goal. You know, you can see all the past champions' names are on here. You know, I saw Jonathan Gresham hold this title. I saw Tracy Williams hold this title. I saw Orange Cassidy hold this title. You know, we talked about some of those guys, and it was always something that I wanted, always something that I wanted to have. So I knew that Lee Moriarty was the perfect person, to take it from. And that's really what I wanted to do. So I didn't know when I'd get that shot again. Didn't know when I'd get another shot in the White Eagle, you know, for Beyond. It was 3 years since my last, you know, singles opportunity for the Independent Wrestling Championship. So I knew I had to capitalize. This was my moment.
Now, see, I think you're being a nice guy about this. I really do. Like, Lee Moriarty's great. Technically great. Creatively great. Heart, desire, all that stuff. But 52 minutes. 52 minutes is where, like, a dude like me or you stand out, right? A dude with cardio for days, right? Dudes in gyms nonstop. Dudes who in between drills go and get on spin bikes, right? That's where we stand out. Like, I love Lee Moriarty, but I can look at him and tell, like, that dude ain't running 10 miles. That dude ain't putting in the cardio like we are. And at 52 minutes, I don't care how good your arm ringers are. That don't matter. Right? That's irrelevant. It's who can get up on their feet. Who still got a little gas in the tank. Now, I'm going to be honest, right? Like, I look at me and you physically. I'm a little bit bigger and a huskier guy, right? But my cardio is just as good. Like, you'll get there one day. Like, I don't doubt your work ethic. But if I was wrestling Lee Moriarty, Beyond Wrestling, for this championship, 52-15 seems a little long. I think I could have brought it in at, like, 51-45. Like, just a little bit. A little bit under that. And that's just, like, this pro wrestling, so you got to believe in yourself, right? You got to be confident. Yeah. Like, I think I'd have beat him a little bit sooner. I mean, in all honesty, I probably could have beat him in under 10 if I caught him with the right moment, but Lee's real good. So I'm going to give him about 51-45 is about where I would bring that match in at, just making a prediction for myself. You know, like I said, if pro wrestling, if you don't believe in yourself, then get out. Because there ain't no room for you. Nobody else going to believe in you. You got to believe in yourself first and foremost, folks. If you're at home, you're a young, up-and-coming wrestler, that's some advice you want to write down in your notebooks and put a star next to it. Because without self-confidence, and you know this, right? We go back to telling mom we're going to be pro wrestlers for the first time. People look at you, there's no confidence from people. Like, it's like you got to believe in yourself. Because you know you're the person going to take those bumps. You're the person going to do that work. You're the person that's got to do everything to make your dreams come true. So you don't believe in yourself, that ain't going to happen. And me, I believe in myself. So 51-45.
If there's anything you've taught me, it's that you believe in yourself, man.
Hey, bro. Gotta do what you gotta do in this business. All right. Fast forward to the future. We're going on to the future now. That's the past. That's the past. We got June 31st, ECWA, the Women's Super 8, right?
It's July.
Oh, I messed up my months. June, July, they're kind of the same. They both start with JY.
Yeah, they're close.
On my notepad, you know what I did? I just wrote 7/31, and I messed up what 1/7 was.
Oh, nice.
Thank you for clarifying that for me real quick.
Educator, you know.
But, they teach months like in first grade. Yeah. I don't teach the months of the year. All right, so here we go. So this is a match, again, quite frankly, I should have been in, right? If you go back and you watch the Super 8, the men's Super 8, I was in the finals for the second straight time, about to be the first ever two-time champion of the Super 8, right? Mm-hmm. Go back and watch the match, folks. You'll see me dominating Killian McMurphy up and down the ring. And then, freak accident, broke my leg. Killian McMurphy wins. Now Killian McMurphy gets a shot against Wheeler Yuta for the IWTV Independent Wrestling Championship, which, again, should have been me, but it's not going to be. How you feel going in this match?
Yeah, I guess I'm pretty confident. You know, you seem to have him pretty well handled in the finals of the Super 8 before, you know, your very unfortunate freak accident. But no, I'm feeling confident. You know, things are rocking and rolling. This will be defense number 99 for the old Independent Wrestling Championship. And, yeah, I think all signs point to 100 for Wheeler Yuta. So I'm ready to go in there, defend this championship against Killian McMurphy, and then we'll go from there.
So now, and I'm going to nod my hat to you a little bit here. I think you're going to dominate him. I'm going to be honest. I've been in the ring with Killian McMurphy. Again, go back, watch the tape. You'll see me handling him quite easily until freak accident happened. But, dude, I know how good you are. Right now, you're the man, and nobody going to touch you. Killian McMurphy's good. He's going to get better, right? I see that same little bit of fire I seen in you back in the day, but he's not quite on your level yet. And, I mean, if you ask me, I am a betting man. If somebody wants to take my bet, hit up my Twitter, Very Good Pro Rest, or at Very Good Pro Rest. There we go. Hit me up. I'll gladly take your money. I'm a bet on Wheeler. You can take Killian McMurphy. I'll gladly take your money on that account. But I think you're going to handle him quite well. And I happen to know that unless things change, that's your only shot, the only title shot before IWTV 100. I don't know if you saw this. Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated. Yo, I'm a 90s kid, right? Sports Illustrated's a big deal to me. Big Frank Thomas on the cover, right? Remember that? Right. Who else we had? Maybe like Emmitt Smith on the cover. This was everything to me as a kid. I used to, in library as a little kid, get the Sports Illustrated kids. Yeah. And you get the little cards in those. You remember those?
I used to rip out the posters.
Oh, dude.
I just take home the poster. Same,
right? And the librarian's like, where'd the poster go? I don't know. So Sports Illustrated announced, whether it's you or Killian, it's gonna be you, between me and you. Whoever wins on August 8th, did I get that right? August 8th, they're going to have to wrestle Daniel Garcia. The Red Death. Now, before you respond to this, Daniel Garcia, C4 champion. Daniel Garcia, Upstate Pro, champion. Daniel Garcia, Limitless, champion. When it's you, I'm not even going to say if. When it's you, how you feeling going into this match? No offense, Killian McMurphy, but this ain't Killian McMurphy. This Red Death. How you feeling?
You know, no offense to Killian McMurphy, and no offense to Upstate Pro, no offense to Limitless, no offense to C4. This is the only championship that I'm concerned with. The Independent Wrestling Championship. And, you know, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to beat Daniel Garcia. I'm going to beat Daniel Garcia, and I'm going to beat him handily. Because this is the stage. This is the 100th defense of this championship. And I want my name to go down in the record books. So if it's going to go down in the record books, what better way to cement my legacy as champion than retaining at IWTV 100?
Handily. You're going to beat Daniel Garcia handily. Dude, we talked about you got to have that self-confidence, right? Yeah. Got to have it. If you don't believe in you, ain't nobody going to believe in you. I like where you're going with that, kid. All right. So here's where I got to be a little bit honest. When this is all said and done, broken leg, right? I'm not a young buck like you. 20 what?
24.
24 years old, my friends. This dude's independent wrestling TV, independent IWTV independent wrestling champion, AEW picking up dubs, right? Sky's the limit. I'm 38 years old, bro. 38 years old. For me, that's the goal. That's it for me. I want to prove to the world that I'm the best independent wrestler there is at any given time. And for me, that's this championship. And so when I'm on my spin bike, physical therapist just moving up to the elliptical, right? I got my my Peloton in the other room, just beat Dan Champ today.
Yep.
Beat Dan Champ today. I knew this Daniel Garcia match was coming. And again, don't take offense. But I'm not prepping for Wheeler Yuta. I'm prepping for Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
Bro, just keep in mind, I'm a cripple right now, for temporary cripple.
Yeah. Talk a lot for a
Hey!
All right.
My kids are in the house, right? I mean, you can fight one day if you could beat Daniel Garcia. It's not going to be right now. But if you want to beat up a cripple in front of his kids, that's on you. That's on you. But anyways, let's move on to the next topic. Next thing on my notes here. Let the world know who's a fantastic, amazingly great wrestler like Wheeler Yuta watching on Independence right now.
You know, there's a lot of great talent on the Independents. You know, I've
Always. That's not new. That'll never change.
I've had a lot of time to sit and watch that. I'm sure you've had a lot of time to sit and watch some independent wrestling, right? It's on IWTV. You know, you get to rewatch your documentary, anything like that. You know.
Shout out to Jerry for making all this wrestling available to all of us. First off.
Yeah, shout out to Jerry. Anyways, one of my undiscovered gems. I've been watching a lot of PWF. The Premier Wrestling Federation. Old friend Jakob Hammermeyer. He is in charge. It's a lot of his students, his old school down there. So I've been watching a lot of that. There's guys like Bojack is on there.
Bojack's the man. If y'all don't know Bojack, you want to look up PWF Bojack right now. All right, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, Bojack, check him out. Patrick Scott, Antonio Ace, Donnie Ray. There's plenty down there. Chance Reiser. There's a lot of undiscovered talent down there. So I think you should watch them out. Maybe a future independent wrestling champion down there one day. Maybe they'll take it from me and not Red Death.
All right. Last question I have, anyways. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Dude, you're 24 years old. You've accomplished just stupid amounts of things guys who've worked as long as I have won't accomplish. What's the next box that you want to check?
I thought about this a lot, and I think for me, there's a lot of people that I want to defend this championship against. There's the Red Death Daniel Garcia that I'll be there for IWTV 100. There's Killian McMurphy. There's plenty of guys on the independents that haven't had a shot at this that I want to have a shot at this. Have you had a shot at this?
Just once.
Just once. How'd that go?
Not well.
No?
Let's not talk about that. I'm talking about you right now. It's your interview.
Yeah? You want to talk about me now? Why don't we talk about us? Why don't we talk about us? How long till you can take that thing off, huh?
Dude, I wish I knew. I go to the doctor every time to say, you're on track, but they never give me the end goal. But just know, when I do, like coronavirus coming, I exited that in the best shape of my life. I spent $1,500 plus $30 a month, whatever, to buy this stupid Peloton so that when this ends, I'll be in the best shape of my life, brother. Trust me, I won't need an extra day more than that to get in a ring with whoever has this title and then take it off their hands. You better believe that. So listen up. I want to go back to something you said just a short time ago. You are going to beat Daniel Garcia handily. Handily. Well, let's put a number on handily. Okay. Let's put a number on it, okay? I'll wager, whatever it is you want to wager, because this is how confident I am, that you can't beat Daniel Garcia in under 30 minutes. Because again, you beat Moriarty, in my opinion, because you out-cardioed him. You were in better shape getting into that ring. That's not going to be the case with Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia is a marathon runner. That dude can cardio just as long as you, just as long as me, if not longer. So that's not going to be the case. It's going to come down to who's the better wrestler. You're both going to be in the best shape of your life. Who's the better wrestler? That's who's going to walk out with the belt.
Tell you what, I'll take you up on that. I'll take you up on that bet. And you said that I could name the terms. Now, the easy thing would be for me to name the term as a shot at this championship. But you know what? You're right. We go way back. You knew me as a kid. You've been calling me kid this whole time, right?
Cut call, brother.
Yep. All right. You're right. Cut call. Anyways. If you want a shot at this, I'm going to give you a shot at this. Regardless, I'm going to give you a shot. The day that comes off, the day you are cleared, the day a doctor says you can wrestle, come find me and we'll wrestle for this. But when I beat Daniel Garcia in under 30 minutes, I name the stipulation. And if by some act of God, if time freezes and I can't beat him in under 30 minutes, you pick.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for watching the very first interview in my backyard. That's it. Goal achieved. Brother, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck against Killian. You don't need it.